Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Cam. Let's talk some stocks. So it was a pretty bloody red day in the market. Just about everything tanked. Some, CNBC talking heads, other people are saying it's just a sector rotation from stay-at-home tech to the, companies that are going to boom on states reopening, right? So Texas is open back all the way up. Same with Mississippi, but Texas is getting all the news. You've had Gavin Newsom put his words out there saying it's incredibly alarming. I can't remember what the exact word was, but a lot of people criticizing it, but a lot of people for it. So wherever you're at on that spectrum, cool. But the market is definitely down today. So let's go to Thinkorswim. The S&P 500 is, down 1.3. Nasdaq, biggest rotation out. So all the tech stocks stay at home, down 3%. So it was a big drop today. And then the Dow only down about 1/3%, and then the Russell down 1%. So definitely the bigger reopening stocks did better today. So it could truly be a just sector rotation, but we'll look at the charts of the S&P 500 going forward later, but we'll start with the big talking names that are popular online. First, we'll go with Rocket Company. So basically just got crushed all day today. So it's down 32%, closed at 28. But pretty typical what's happening with these stocks that are moving. If there's a spike that's like right at the early morning open, so 1 a.m., 2 a.m. There's a big spike up there and it doesn't get anywhere close. It's basically been an all-day fade. This wasn't available to short on Interactive Brokers for me, but literally just basically by the time you could trade on Interactive Brokers, which is 4 a.m., basically held this 22 moving average. And you got the spike on the open, but then basically respected it all day. And so if I go out to the daily just to kind of see the longer term here. So IPO'd back here, volume really just from these last 2 days. So now we're 28. There was some consolidation here. So you notice the 61.8 fib from the IPO low to the first high it had. And then today I drew this green fib from the previous low on the 23rd to the high of yesterday. And you see like the 50 and the 38 match up with 78, 61.8. And we closed basically right on that line today. Didn't get down low enough to try to gap fill this area here. All right, so there is a ton of low volume here, but we'll look to see if this fib level holds as support going into tomorrow. You see after hours we're up a little bit, but we'll see if we get some type of reversal. Say the market picks up tomorrow, turns green, this thing might be able to regain some ground, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then Fubo, which is another popular stock, I talked about it in its earnings report. Say they are going to come out with a sports betting part of the company. They originally started out as a European soccer streaming service. Now they're doing everything live sports. They're going to try to be a big play, compete with Hulu in that category. But they're going to open a sports book, guess to compete with DraftKings, Penn, Barstool. But also as a popular stock on Wall Street bets, other Twitter, finance Twitter. But it's also another heavily shorted stock today, similar to Rocket, just all day fade down here in the low 30s. So closed right at 34.14, moving lower here after hours. So we'll jump out to the daily. So we can just mark the high. I haven't done this one yet. See if anything. All right, so I guess we broke through this 50 level fib here today. So opened right at that 50-day moving average, complete rejection of it. And it looks like we don't have a ton of volume here in the low, below 33 to 31. So could look to fill that volume gap moving forward if this stays bearish. As you can see, there's a huge change in the moving averages here from the last 2 days. Just a big chunk, and then can be good to look at the weekly. So kind of still within last week's bar, really, for price. Got out of it a little bit on the earnings move, but could look to find some support here, even lower in the low 30s. So 22 right now is at 31.1. So I think this probably could move lower for the rest of the week. Another one we talked about in the pre-market video, Ocugen. So you see the price has been 201 down to 17 cents on the weekly, so that's really not going to show us anything. But if you go to the daily, the previous moves here got up to 1877. Poked here through 14. When we look in the pre-market action, should have been assigned to short it this morning, but I didn't notice it till, looking back, hindsight's 2020. But we'll go into the 5-minute chart. So popped on the news that their partner's COVID test was like 81% in efficiency. So got that pop right before the 4 a.m. hour. High at 1406. I think it was on the 1-minute chart where the 200 was right after the open. No, was it 3-minute? There's one of them where it had to be 5 or 2. Maybe it was 15. Yeah, about so like right here, the 15, the 22 crossed through this 61 fib, basically right on the opening candle. So that could have been interest to go in, especially here with the RSI here on the 1-minute, dipping below 30 and oversold. Arrow, from Thinkorswim's platform indicates this could be an entry. And then we got the steady uptick in the morning. Let's zoom out so you can just see the high and then the double top. But we pressed this $14 area, got really wicky above 1375. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and then just a poke of 14. So you could call this a double top, and then we just sold off the rest of the day. Couldn't really find an explanation for this big red candle right here. I had this chart up at the time that it did drop. Couldn't really find anything on it, and just timing of it too. So 10:30 at 10:28 they put out a news blurb on TD Ameritrade, so that's kind of odd, but still trending downtrend, still downtrending after market right now. So if you go back to daily, look to see, most of this supports in here. It's pretty recent, so probably a good area to look to hold would be the $10, double digit, 00 area that a lot of buyers and sellers will be watching going into tomorrow. And then we'll just check out the other Wall Street bet stock. So AMC, again, just a pretty boring day, incredibly low volume till from its recent moves, right? So was that last Thursday, 444 million shares. Today was only 54, right? Yesterday was 78. So the volume is just downtrending pretty quickly. So it's just kind of consolidating, and the volume down just means it's not going to move yet. But if you are a follower of Mike Minervini's trading strategies, or you've read his books, which there are incredible reads, you should read them. So his big pattern is the cup and handle, and then he calls it a VCP, a volume contraction period. So we could be in that volume contraction period right now where the buyers and sellers are just getting really quiet, and then this thing's going to pop one way or the other, and that could just time up to be the end of this week here. And I think another point that could point to that coming at the end of this week is where the price is really kind of curling down into this 9 EMA, which could come into contact with it here Thursday or Friday. So this is still definitely going to be a watch for myself, and then the retail traders online at Reddit will be watching it as well, and sure will other YouTube stocks guys and gals. But we'll go to GME. Actually had a better day than AMC today. Actually was green, had some decent range, but just like AMC, really light on volume, but still respecting this 116 23.6 fib in here, right? So basically 5 days in a row we're kind of just been all over that area. So getting kind of wicky up here, up in the low 130s. Today we poked, I think it was like 120. So we poked 127 right on the open, and then got a little push towards the close, and looks like we're trending up here after hours, so could get some movement in GameStop to end the week as well. Bitcoin, I'll show Bitcoin real quick. Apparently I just have great opposite timing for these Bitcoin charts. So this is a 5-minute chart when I was watching today. So this time period right here, it's in London, but or Greenwich is the Greenwich Mean Time or whatever it's called, I don't know. But right here where it's 13 on the chart, that was at 5:30, or that was at 5 this morning. And then so we had this downtrend. I made that pre-market video at 5:30, and it basically sold off again. So we basically sideways all day, and sideways lower down here. The 50,400 area is looking like it might act as some support. But then if we go back real quick and just look at our crypto plays, you'll notice that oh, I didn't enter. We have some pretty different looking charts. So let's go back here first. So CAN and SOS, these two on top, charts look completely different from each other, which is not typical for them. You know, they've been in my videos now for about 2 weeks. They look very similar most days. Today, definitely not the case. CAN looks much more like Bitcoin's chart for the day. SOS does not, but SOS had news come out that this Scorpio Venture Capital reports on SOS that they're a company that's being maliciously shorted. Hindenburg Research is short. So there was like some fraud accusations against them in the past. And, you know, these short reports sit on like they did to GameStop, kind of similar scenario, and this is kind of just the other side of it. You know, pointing fingers back and forth at each other, type deal. But we got this big rally in the morning. You know, basically 6.5 up to 9, so that's almost like a 50% move. So that's a big move today when Bitcoin was pretty quiet. So we'll see if this is coiling up to move farther, as you just see on the daily chart. Right, we held this 22-day moving average, closed right up here, close to this 50 fib. So we could be looking to go through this low volume. Come on, that was almost like crap. Go through this low volume area and get back up here into the double digits. So that's all I got for, you know, individual stock tickers today. But let's look at the S&P 500 ETF. So here on the daily, I'm just saying that it doesn't look, you know, great long term if it's sector rotation or not. So like we've had this consolidation here, like the last 2 weeks. You know, we had this peak on February 16th, and then kind of rolled over. Haven't really truly tested again. You know, we tried that 392 day, then the big sell off, and then we got the push on Monday, and then the last 2 days have been selling off. But you can see the moving averages are again curling down pretty hard. So I think at least tomorrow we'll probably open up and then try to test this, you know, 50-day moving average trend right here where we bounced off of last Thursday. So I think tomorrow we go test this 380 level. And then if we look at the weekly chart, I know I got a ton of lines on here, so kind of ignore them. We've been holding this 9 weekly EMA, so we're basically real close to that right now too. What does that say on the right? 380. So 380 is the level I think we're going to test tomorrow, and that will decide the future direction for a little bit at least. But that could change quickly if the government passes the COVID-19 relief bill, gets through the Senate this week. They're saying maybe Friday or Saturday, so it could change the sentiment going into next week. So that's what I got for you guys. Kind of a longer video. I apologize, rambled a little bit. But as always, I hope you guys got something out of this. If you did, let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see anything, please let me know. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.